So now the next scenario is handling string and numbers. So imagine you are analyzing storm data in the storm events dataset table, and you need to perform some basic transformations on the data to make it more usable. For example, you might want to, there are certain scenarios which I am highlighting it here, convert all event types to lowercase to ensure consistency. So just now we have seen, right? The Florida is case sensitive. It's not working. So we need to use this kind of logic in order to work even with the case sensitive things. And then we have this format the damage property as a string for easy readability, and add a constant value to damage property to account for inflation, which you want to make any kind of calculation here, and add a logic to show the status when the damage property is greater than 100,000, it is high damage, else it is a low damage. So we can add additional custom columns onto this particular query here. So for that, let's have a look deeper into one by one. So convert all event types here. So storm events where to lowest state equal to Florida. This is the same exact problem which I faced in my previous video. So if I move on to this one, let's check here. So storm events where this one state equal to Florida, and this is the one. So now if I run this again, so let's take it to bit of 5, that should be fine. And but now this should give us the value here because we are filtering the Florida. Now if I use this one Florida in a small case and run, this will show us a blank here because it's a case sensitive. So for that, I just want to mention it here lower, which is to lower, okay, to lower and then state, which is the column name. And now if I run this one, this should work fine and show us the result. That's really cool. So that's what it is. We can convert it using to lower, and there are different format options available. You can also use that. And the next thing here, format the damage property as a string for easy readability. So right now the damage property what we have, the project which we have, it's showing us in numbers here. So if it is not user friendly for you, then you can just use here toString. So damage property equal to string. I'm just converting this value here, damage property. There is nothing other changes here. We are filtering this to be lower and Florida, and you can see this number which is showing up here like this. Let's run this one now. So it is showing up here in this manner. I think for me, even though this is just an example, this actually hard to read here, to be safe, compared to the previous one. But it is, if you want to convert something, then you can also convert the numbers into text here. That's what the main purpose of that. And add a constant value to damage property here. So if you want to add any additional value, then you can use that. It's a kind of simple calculations. So I'm just using damage property equal to here. This has to be damage property plus 1000 here, just as an example. Right now this is showing up here 62,000, and if I add this one and let's run this again, here we have 5,000. This should change to some other value, and now it is showing up, everything is showing up like 0 plus 10,000 is showing up here 10,000, and now it is adding up 10,000, and 5,000 plus 10,000 is showing up here 15,000. That's really cool. If you want to add some static value, it's a simple calculation like we usually have. And the fourth one which we have it here, add a logic to show the status when damage property is greater than 100,000 and it's high. So we need to specify a custom logic here. So for that we need to use if condition as usual. So we can just use this here, and now we just remove this var option, and project here, this can be order by, because then only we can able to specify that, or else I just want to remove everything. So project start time, end time, damage property. So that should be the one, and then you can just use the status here. So status, I just want to status, this is the name of the column, equal to, and we want to use if it is giving this here, the intelligence works perfectly fine. So if then else. So if damage property is greater than 100,000, which is 100,000, yeah, that's right. And then command, it has to be, we can specify the value which is high damage, or else we within the double quotes we need to mention this thing, low damage. That's cool. Now if I select this one and execute this should create a new column as a stats, even though the spelling is wrong. Sorry about that. But here you can just scroll down, you can see some values here, and these are some low values, and just okay, here it one. So we have more than 100,000, it is showing up here high damage, and this is less than 100,000, so it's showing up here low damage here. So we can also add a custom column based on our different logics here. So this is all about handling string numbers, and you can do additional calculations to this. Hello and welcome back. So in this scenario, we'll talk about the sorting of the data and pagination with take and row number. I hope you are aware of the take, what we have seen from the beginning. We have used multiple times here. So how can you sort the data by state first and then by event start time in descending order to view the latest storm events in each state? So there's a trick here, right? So far we have seen just only one particular sorting, but here we have multiple column sortings here. So in that case, how can we do that? So basically we can just specify storm events order by state, start time, descending order. So this is basically showing up this information. Let's have a look into Data Explorer. So storm events, we can just specify pipe here and then order by state and then start time. So if I specify this to be descending order and then execute this one, this is going to give me this all the information in this sorting order. So it's just giving me here in descending order, and state is also showing me in descending order. But for me, actually, I want the state to be in ascending order, and also the start time has to be in descending order. So what is the last by each and every state? So that's really good here. So we can specify that as well. So here Alabama, the state, this is the last time. And if I scroll down here to look for other state information, and Colorado, we have this information. I don't know, I'm on the middle of this one. So in order to get this one, we need to use minimum maximum in the summarize function to get this information by state here. So this is showing up every information on a particular state here. So this is how you can able to use order by in order to sort ascending and descending by multiple columns here. Now the scenario again question is, how can you assign row number to each storm event and then filter to display only events ranked from 10 to 15 based on the latest start time? So this is a new one. So for that, basically we need to use storm events order by start time in descending order, because the latest it's showing up here. So that's why we need to sort this by descending order. And then we need to write a new command which we are discussing now, which is extend. Extend basically helps to create a particular column here. So row number is equal to row number, that's going to add a row number. And then we are filtering this row number like we have already seen. We can call this column again here. So column name, which is the row number greater than 10 and row number is less than or equal to 15. That's the thing which is the question. Rank from 11 to 15, we need to filter that. So let's try this one. So where we have mentioned here start time equal to descending order, and then we need to use pipe and then use the extend here. So what is that? Creates calculated columns and append to the result set. That's the name of this extend here. So expand here and then we just specify the name, which is row number. I'm just specifying this here is equal to row number. So that's particularly the function name here. And now after that, what we need to specify? We need to specify the where condition where row number, which is this one, is greater than 10 and the row number has to be less than or equal to 15. That's basically the requirement here. Now if I run this one, this guy is going to give us only 5 records where the row number is from 11 to 15. So if I go to the right hand side, it should create a new row, a new column, which is row number as specified here. And now showing up here 11, 12, 13, 14 and 15. So this exactly the good thing, like how we want to specify that. So instead of start time, we can also specify by damage property. So based on the damage property, we can take the top 15 values, and from that I just need the top 5 from starting from 11 here. So if I run this one, this is going to give us a different result where you can see the damage property showing up here, this value which is comes around 11 to 15 here. That's how cool we can get this value. Now the third one is, how can you display only 2 events after filtering for row number 11 to 15, ensuring the list is sorted by the start time in descending order. So for this, it's simple, right? We can just use the take 2 events even though after sorting this by 10 to 15. The same formula, the same query what has written on the top It's just at the end we are taking the top 2 here. So similar to this one, we just need to here expand and then you take here 2. This is going to give us only top 2 result here. Even though this is sort by descending property, and now you can see showing up here 11 and 12. That's how simple is that.